Okay.
Oh, we're live? Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah, well, we've been live on Periscope, so.
I love our Periscope fan. What do we got? 3 listeners on the Periscope.
Hey. All right. All right, go ahead.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Should I push this button, Fred?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to show off my WWE cup.
Okay. Are you going to bring us in, or am I? Bring us in with your phrase.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here we go.
You're listening to The Weigh-In with Mike Parsons.
What are you cackling at, fatty? Too much pie, that's your problem.
And Fred Slow.
Anybody want a peanut?
On demand 24/7 at weighinradio.com.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
Welcome to The Weigh-In. I'm Fred Slow, and I must have done something right in a previous life because I am here with Mike J. Parsons. Mike, how are you doing, my friend?
Good, Fred. I got to be honest though. I haven't prepared much for the show today because I've been spending the last week trying to sort my feelings out about this damn Daniel phenomena.
Damn Daniel.
Yeah. Well, number one, Fred. There's a lot of times, in our culture with this new social media craze where I just say to myself, I'm not for this world. This world is not for me. I can't make sense of it. I don't know why this kid with these jumpy, quick cut videos looking at his friend's shoes saying, damn Daniel, why it's so popular.
I don't understand why you're not saying it correctly every time you say it. It's not damn Daniel. It's damn Daniel.
I mean, Fred, you got your methods. I've got mine. My favorite being the pullout, but that's beside the point. But then I saw these kids on Ellen, Fred, and I kind of liked them because
what? I didn't see them. I didn't see them on Ellen. What was that?
I don't know. It was on the YouTube. No, number one, here's what happened. Okay.
Okay.
This is how I become privy to this is sort of my news cycle, right? Like the new news cycle is it goes to 4chan, to Reddit, to Yahoo, to Good Morning America. Well, with me, I will scroll through my Facebook feed and see the same reference over and over and over. And all week I've been seeing people making references to damn Daniel. I've been seeing people posting videos, tributes, and I decided to Google it. And then I came across the clip on Ellen. And really all it was just a couple of kids with Snapchat. They're like 14.
Right.
And you know how when you're with your friends, you kind of come up with these inside jokes or these phrases that you throw around over and over and over, and they only make sense to you?
Basically, my entire life is that. My entire life is an inside joke.
So that's what these kids did, and they put it on Snapchat, and all of a sudden they're famous, and then they're on Ellen, and they think it's as random and stupid as the rest of us. So although I'm not a fan of the damn Daniel phenomenon, I kind of like the kids because they're on Ellen, and Ellen's asking why they're so famous, and they say, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but the girls like us, and then Ellen gave them some gifts. So I'm not mad at the kids. I just don't understand how it's become such a big thing. And I guess I'm sounding like old man Parsons here, but I just got to be honest.
We talk about sports. We talk about the lexicon. We talk about society, and this is the lexicon. Damn, Daniel has entered that level. Damn, Daniel is now by Felicia. It's now Lucy. You got some splaining to do.
Right.
Right. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. It's there. So I feel bad for every kid in the country whose name is Daniel. That's all he's going to hear for the rest of. He's going to hit the damn Daniel. He's going to at prom. He's going to get shut. Damn Daniel at the drive-thru. He's going. Hey, thank you for pulling to McDonald's. This is Daniel. How may I help you? Damn Daniel. Like it's every single one, man. I love it. I love catchphrases. And when I was a kid, it was Freddie got finger. Like, and I love that because I love attention.
When we were a kid, for you, you know what mine was, Fred?
Book 'em, Dano. No, wait, no one.
Michael motorcycle blew a fart and fell apart. That was mine. So you know what? I would love that. I would love to trade damn Daniel for Michael motorcycle.
I just love the idea that it's here and that it's somebody's and it's going to be used for a long time and
3 weeks.
After a while, yeah. Well, then bye, Felicia.
Well, and I was watching this, and I guess Daniel, his signature is what? These are they white Keds, white Adidas, K-Swiss
Vans. They're Vans.
White Vans. That's right, because Ellen gave him a lifetime supply of Vans. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, this has become a viral sensation. It seems organic because a lot of times, Fred, these things are like there's a lot of marketing dollars put behind it to make it look organic. But I think that this organically happened. It's just a couple kids screwing around and it went viral. But I said to myself, okay, well, this is becoming very popular. Are white Vans going to be in style now?
Oh, they're for sure. They're the new Air Force Ones.
But I think things come and go so quickly in the cultural lexicon, as you said, because of social media. I mean, just look how fast bit strips came and went, and how quickly everyone was using them, and how quickly the backlash against them was. And I think maybe 10 years ago, if Damn Daniel would have become famous on like an E-Bombs world, where things kind of had more staying power, white Vans probably would have had a few months where they were in style. But now that cycle kind of changes over so quickly, I don't think that things have enough time to breathe before the next sensation or the next meme takes over.
Follow my lead here, Mike.
I'm going to try.
What you talking about, Willis?
Okay, but you know what? That was the 70s, and that was a TV show that ran for years and years and years.
Okay. Hey, follow me again, Mike.
Okay.
Oh, my God. They killed Kenny.
How long has South Park been on the air?
97, maybe? 96, 97?
I mean, if it's like a TV show that's on for years, that's going to stay. That's going to stay in people's minds, and it's going to become a cultural reference much longer. How about this, Fred? All your base belong to us.
That one's not good. That one doesn't have a name in it. I'm going with only name ones. There's a theme here.
Fred, look, you can't change the rules in the middle of the game, okay?
Well, the game is mine. Like, this is the game I invented. All day I've been doing this.
You know what? You're like a 5-year-old who in the middle of a game you're changing rules so that they benefit you. I'm just saying, if it's an internet meme, Fred, it's gonna come and go a lot quickly than a phrase on a popular TV show.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Mike. Maybe you're wrong, Mike. But the only thing I know is I want to be like Mike. Want to be like. That's what I'm saying. These name ones last. It's going to last. Damn Daniel will be around. Somebody will cheers it at a wedding.
Well, Fred, I hope you're right. And you know what? It's probably going to stick around for people named Daniel a lot longer than it's going to stick around for guys named Mike. But you're right, because even at the age of 32, no, I'll be 31 in 7 months.
Old man Parsons.
I will still get, since I was 5 years old, I'll still get some Weisenheimer who thinks he knows me well enough to start with the Michael motorcycle song. So, yes, I guess if your name is Daniel, this will probably never go away.
Fred, riding Fred, riding Fred, riding Fred. I still hear it today. There's nothing you can do. Damn Daniel is the new Bookham, Dano. It's here to stay, Mike.
Yeah, I guess every name needs every name needs a catchphrase, but not every name does. I guess maybe we should count ourselves lucky, Fred.
No, we are. Wait, that we have them or that we? Yeah,
that
yes,
we have them.
I agree. Hard yes.
You know who else changed the rules in the middle of the game this week, Fred?
Well, I'm ready. Who?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, keep going.
There is a whole new line of like emoticons or emojis that you can choose from. There's no longer just the thumbs up. So when somebody says, my poor cat Fluffy died, you can do a sad face. Wasn't that always weird? Someone would post some really sad news and people give it thumbs up. It's like, who are these sick bastards who are liking the fact that your mom is in the hospital?
So here's the neat thing. I woke up late one day, and by late I mean like 7:45 in the morning, and overnight Facebook had introduced the totally redesigned like button with I guess 5 new options for 6 total options. And I didn't know about it, but I knew about the outrage about it beforehand.
Well, and that's what always happens. Anytime there's a change on Facebook, people freak out. And then they adapt to it and nobody cares. But one thing, and I say this every time this becomes a debate, a lot of people are posting this meme with the new Facebook emojis and saying all we wanted was the dislike button. And what I have to say to you people who want a dislike button, society is not ready for a dislike button because
we can't handle it.
Our fragile psyches would shatter. And because people only think about how they're going to use the dislike button. But the moment you post a picture of your kid doing something every other kid can do, the minute you post an awkward picture of you and your ugly significant other and someone does the dislike button, you're going to fall to pieces. I honestly think that a dislike button would be the end of civilization.
Yeah, it's tough for me. Every day I do a top 5 list on social media. So if you follow me on Twitter, that's at @2everydiscodev. If you're following me on Periscope, if you're whatever. But I do a top 5 list every day. And they're not all great, Mike. I'm doing 365 of them this year, okay? Some of them aren't great. Some of them are really good. And they get a lot of traction. They get a lot of movement. But if I put out a dudster and I end up with more dislikes than likes, I mean that's pretty much, that would be the end for me. I would quit. I would quit.
Right, because you put a lot of work into that. And I see so I saw these, Fred, right? You got the like, with your traditional like.
Right.
You got your love,
which is good. I like the progression.
You've got your angry face.
You
have your sad face. You have your wow face and you have your ha-ha face. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so how are online marketers going to start using this data? And I found a article on mic.com, Mike.com.
Yeah, you're such a loser. Yeah, keep going.
That said that, Facebook is going to start using that to sort of see what type of content that you gravitate towards. So if if you're clicking angry faces and then you're clicking on those articles, Facebook's going to start showing you the articles that make you mad. And I can totally see that because people love posting depressing or angry.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they're like, hey, look, this guy is out kicking puppies. What a jerk. Well, yeah, okay, but who's going to disagree with you on that? I mean, why are you posting this terrible downer stuff on my newsfeed? But that's the stuff that moves.
I've never seen a car wreck that I looked away from. And I think, isn't that kind of the idea behind it, right?
Exactly.
So, in a little differently than your thought process, mine was not how are people going to use this information, it's how am I going to misuse these emotions, right? So say it's like, hey, what's a good example? Me and my wife are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, and then I put like the angry face. Like, what am I doing? Am I trying to start a problem? Why am I doing that? I don't know why I'm doing that. Or if it's like, hey, got fired from my job today, cutbacks, and I'm like, love.
Right. Exactly.
Why would I do that?
So what you're planning on doing is you are waging subtle emotional warfare on your entire friends list with these brand new Facebook emoticons.
What is the emotional warfare? How about like social media warfare? I'm on the hunt, but only to people who choose to be my friend.
Right. And then but what BuzzFeed's going to do is say, okay, so is the article about the kittens going to get more likes, or is the article about genocide going to get more likes?
Drowning kittens, right? Yeah.
And so whatever you click more on, the stuff you love or the stuff that makes you mad, that's what BuzzFeed is going to put in your news feed.
Well, I'm angry about this whole thing. So, for a fact that years ago I blocked BuzzFeed, so I haven't seen a BuzzFeed article since 13, probably.
And that's why every day of your life is the best day of your life, Fred. It's the weigh-in, weighинradio.com.
Good heat.
That was good heat. Now, I am warning you, I do hear myself echoing a little bit in the back.
Damn it, let me turn that down.
But, yeah. So, I mean, it's not super distracting. I think we did about, I got 14 minutes on that?
I got 14:30, maybe.
Okay, let's see. All right, you want to talk that kid from Auburn, or you want to talk Conor McGregor here?
Can you hear yourself now?
Check. Yo. No.
I just turned it down slightly.
Okay. Yeah, and I do have a sound clip of him. It's the part where he's talking about how much he likes Nate Diaz. Like it. Well, I'll play it for you. Do you want to talk about that now, or you want to save it for later?
Do you feel like we should just tell the Periscope listeners to go to YouTube and watch this live so they can like really get the experience? Should that just be our Periscope? It's just a picture of the URL to YouTube.
I don't know. I mean, I think the more hurdles you send people to, the less they're going to. So, I mean, if
feel like a dick.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, is the sound quality better now that you changed it, or you don't know?
I don't know. Let's do a test real quick. I'll check it on my phone.
All right, let's hear it.
It'll only take 2 seconds. Hold on, everyone here. Then on the Periscope, and no one else in the whole world will ever know that we did this. Like Mike.
You know, the 4 people who watch us on Google Hangout, actually, sometimes they say they like the conversation between segments better. Sounds like I'm loud and clear.
It's not great.
No, it's not.
It's almost like I need to encase it in a glass box of Parsons, a glass box of Parsons.
Yeah. You know, you would think that Periscope, I don't know. Obviously, Periscope isn't meant for people like us, but you think they'd make it a little more user-friendly that way.
So what are we looking for? Conor McGregor talking to Nate Diaz?
Yeah, Conor McGregor revolutionizing trash talk.
He's the best.
The fallout from the Gronk party boat. I saw something about how someone asked Batista if the WWE would ever unionize, and I guess there's been a lot of talk about wrestling unionizing for decades.
For years, yeah. I can go on that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let's start with the Conor McGregor stuff, and then we can dovetail into that.
All right, you got a lead on that. I know some. I don't know all.
About which one?
Conor McGregor.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I have opinion.
Good. Okay. Well, I'll do a quick setup then.
All right, 17-15, go.
Okay.
Now, back to the weigh-in.
Got him!
Weighинradio.com.
All right. So, Fred, we did a little year-end special at the end of 2015, and you surprised me. I think we were doing a personality of the year or athlete to watch in 2016. I don't remember.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can recall we were doing sports personality of the year, and I had one.
Right, and I thought that it was a little premature, but looking back, maybe it was more ahead of its time than premature. When you mentioned Conor McGregor from UFC. And, of course, at that time, even though she had lost to Holly Holm by then, I was saying I don't think Conor McGregor is yet the biggest star in his sport, let alone all of sports, because Ronda Rousey was the big name there. And now Ronda Rousey's gone. She's still technically part of the UFC, but there's really no telling when she's actually going to come back to fight.
Right. Rumored for July. We don't know.
Right. But I mean, that's nearly a full year between her fights. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, well, probably not out of nowhere. People who've been watching MMA, it's one of those things, overnight success, but not quite. Conor McGregor has burst onto the scene. And where's he from, Fred? He's from Ireland, right?
Yeah, Dublin,
Ireland. And I think Conor McGregor might be revolutionizing smack talk, because what he likes to do is he likes to shower his opponents with compliments, and then he talks about how he's going to destroy them.
He draws from a thing, and if you give me a second here, I'm going to go on a little kick. A lot of smack talk is degrading to the opponent, and it's a pretty traditional style. You talk about like Muhammad Ali, right? Muhammad Ali was going to hit you because you were big and you were slow and you couldn't handle it, and he told you I was going to do that. Conor McGregor is a little alternative, as in Conor McGregor speaks purely from confidence. Okay, so Conor McGregor, and it's like shooting a free throw or throwing a strike in bowling. He envisions the execution of what he's trying to do before he actually does it. And then he tells you about that vision before it happens. And this visualization, which comes from his inner confidence, he's able to turn into the most intimidating state a human being can be in.
Yeah, it's almost he's so confident that he can praise his opponents in a backhanded way because he's so alpha, if that makes sense.
Oh, it absolutely makes sense. He doesn't say, and we're talking about Nick Diaz right now because he was going to fight Dos Santos. He backed out. There was a whole thing. So Nick Diaz is the guy. So he says, this is how I'm going to beat you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is more terrifying to me than anyone saying, I'm going to beat you up. Because no, you're not. You're not going to beat me up. I know you're not. But if you tell me I'm going to do this exact thing to you, then it's like when a person's like, hey, make sure you check me at 6:00 tomorrow if the Rams lose, because that means you're going to kill yourself. Like that, then it's serious. You have a plan.
Right.
So this is the same thing. And obviously constant profanity. Obviously he doesn't blink. Every time you see me, he has a new tattoo. Like he's a guy who is by sight and by action completely terrifying.
Yeah, and I guess he's made some waves, caused some controversy because him and Diaz had a press conference or whatever you call that in the UFC, where he called him a racial epithet that I have never heard of. So I don't know exactly how bad it is. Can we say it on the air?
I'm going to say we cannot, but it is derogative to Hispanics.
Okay. Well, because I've got a sound clip where he says it. So maybe I'll just paraphrase the sound clip. Pretty much what he says is he likes Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is an asset to the community. He fights, and then on Sundays he teaches Taekwondo to children. With one hand, he's throwing up the gun sign, and the other one, he's making balloon animals. And then Diaz got sick of it, and he said, F you and your belt. And like I said, I didn't bleep it out of my original sound clip here, so you can't get the full thing. But I'm like, what kind of mind game is this? He's like shouting compliments at this guy, like what he's saying is praising the guy, but he's saying it in a demeaning way. It's almost like when Betty White co-starred on That 70s Show and she did the grandma diss, where she would say something really degrading but in a very nice way. That's sort of like what Conor McGregor does.
He does. It's a reverse of a technique I use a lot. I do a lot of emceeing. I do a lot of events. I do a lot of like speaking in front of crowds. And what I do is I'll take a story, and that'll be an intrinsic story, and I'll broadcast in a way that it's so vague that you can relate it to yourself. Preachers do it a lot, right? It's like no matter what I say, it relates to you regardless of your situation or walk of life. And this is
it's like horoscopes or fortune tellers,
Exactly. And this is the exact same thing, where he allows you to create your own doubt in your mind through the lead of his thought, and that is psychologically terrifying. Again, I feel like it's the only word I can use to try to speak with him and know that you can't beat him verbally. You're not gonna be able to beat him physically, and he's handling his business at the highest level right now.
Yeah, and I mean UFC and mixed martial arts, I think that they are looking for these loose cannons because it's obviously it's trying to build this brand. And I think it's taking a page out of the old pro wrestling book, but it's modernizing it. And much like pro wrestling is all about the promos and the smack talk and everything, that's what MMA needs. That's why Ronda Rousey became so popular, because she's good looking and she was brash and she dominated. And now Conor McGregor is sort of hitting that same vein on the male side of the sport.
And full circle to bring it to pro wrestling, if you ask me what my favorite pro wrestling moments are, none of them are in ring. They're all promo. So all my favorite wrestling memories are things that were on the microphone or outside the ring, and it's the theatrics of it. And if you're able to add theatrics to combat sports, you're going to hit a wider audience. The fans of these sports really like to emulate the athletes, right? There's a reason Affliction t-shirts trended high for so long. There's a reason everyone at the New Year blows $150 on a gym membership to get in fighting shape. This is easy to emulate. Trash talking and being loud and boisterous, these are things you can do at the bar or you can do in your backyard, and you can feel like you're a part of this situation, and that's what the sports needs. It's going to draw young kids who want to be competitive and good at it, specifically with interest in like football going down or with interest in some other collision sports. This is exactly what the UFC needs, except the UFC is already white hot, so it can only get hotter.
Right, and it needs to continue to push its stars the way it does. And in order to push the stars, you've got to have these big over-the-top personalities that some people may love Conor McGregor smack talk, some people might hate it. Just like a lot of people loved Ronda Rousey being so arrogant, other people hated it, and that's why half the public out there were heartbroken when she got beat by Holly Holm, and the other half were celebrating it. And you're absolutely right, Fred, where it doesn't matter what happens inside the ring is really only used to support what's going on outside of the ring. Talk about your favorite wrestling moments. I mean, when Stone Cold was at the height of his popularity, he was a terrible wrestler. I mean, his only move was the stunner and stomping somebody.
He was pretty good at the stunner, though. I mean, he was
right. So he had to perfect he had to perfect two things, Fred. He had to perfect his out of ring persona, and he had to perfect the stunner. And everything else was just kind of ancillary.
I agree with what you're saying, though, because Conor McGregor instantly, with his banter and demeanor, he creates that heel face dynamic that you don't always have in these kind of in combat sports, where you have two guys that want to battle each other and they both work real hard and they're both from a blue collar home, and you just want them both to succeed. But not here. Here you either are rooting for the bad guy or you're rooting against the bad guy, and it creates teams. It's perfect.
Right. And plus, using MMA as an example, Ronda Rousey was the biggest star at the time. Right now, Conor McGregor is the biggest star in the sport. And their matches last, 20 seconds?
If.
Right. So, and I've always kind of thought that's probably going to start hurting mixed martial arts, because people are going to start shelling out all this money for these matches and getting mad when they're over in a second. But I don't think it's hurting them. I think at this point it's actually helping them, because it's building the mystique of these people being arrogant yet unstoppable.
Well, it's such a good TV product. It's akin to the NFL, where you have about 10 seconds worth of action, and then you have 30 seconds to analyze it and talk about it and go to your friends and be predictive and be reactive. And this is the same thing, where you only have a few seconds of action for real in kind of the society we live in. We don't want much more than that. And then we can take that few seconds and we can break it down any way we want to create any argument we want to be the smartest guy in the room. And it is designed perfectly for that.
Look, just get this fight over before my Vine stops recording.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the weigh-in, weighinradio.com. All right.
Pretty good.
Yes,
man,
sir. That
best
one
episode we've ever done.
I'm feeling good. All right. All right. So let's see. That went about 11.
Let's just go past this Batista thing. Then we already talked about wrestling.
Okay. Let's see. So you want to talk about this Peyton Barber kid?
Yeah, but same thing. You're gonna have to lead.
Okay. Well, what do you have? What do you want to lead on? If there's,
I mostly just had the thing where I came up with catchphrases with names in it, which is not a lot of work.
Okay. All right, Fred. I'll put us on our back here.
I'm a huge piece of shit.
You know what's funny, Fred? Let's see. This is episode 27, and we've gone from being a non-sports show to a sports show, back to just doing whatever the hell we want.
Hey.
I mean, but we do have to incorporate some sports, since we're on, Cave Radio Sports and everything. But
I agree with what you're saying, but I do want to talk about like primitivetechnology.wordpress.com, where this guy just makes videos of building mud huts. I watched them all. It's outstanding.
Okay, only if I can talk about this YouTube channel I found, where some guy he just shows you how to reheat leftover Chinese food.
Yeah, with a wet paper towel.
No, with the skillet and hot water. It turns out terrible, actually.
Did you try it?
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, my new favorite thing is bullshit GIF recipes. Have you seen these GIF recipes that aren't really GIF recipes?
No. Like, are they making fun of like the the new trend where they like show you how to make these used to be very simple, and then all of a sudden now they're like you have to be like a Michelin chef to make this stuff?
Yeah, but now it's so the one I saw today was in your prime example, it's like make lasagna rolls, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's kind of clever. It involves like dough. But so today's was this girl shares it, and it's like fucking corn on the cob. It's just a corn on the cob. And then it's like, cover this in butter and put it in the microwave, and you'll have popcorn. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Stop it.
No, you know what? I'll see that too. Like, they won't be gifts, but they'll be like fake life hacks where it says, you know, get the most out of your gas mileage. Try putting a cup full of sugar in your gas tank before you fill up. You know, stuff like that.
Need better traction in the snow? Put screws in your tires. Like, oh, stop it.
Right. I guess it thins the herd.
I just love internet.
I really
do.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I love it, but I hate it. Like I said, like with Damn Daniel, I hated it at first, then I kind of grew to like it.
Damn Daniel.
All right. Let's see. All right, we'll talk about this Barber kid here.
All right. Yep.
And since we went long on those first two, we'll just do 9 to 9 because
All
we
right.
did. How long was our first segment again? 13.
Yeah, way too long.
Okay. Yeah. So
I just had so many catchphrases with names in them.
Well, it's important we got them all in.
And also, if we run out of steam, I want to talk about how I stayed up till 2 a.m. last night, entering every single player in fantasy baseball into this app that I paid $10 for.
Okay, here we go. We can always hit that last segment.
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back.
You'll bring it back. All right, here we go.
Now, back to the weigh-in.
Thank you so much for saying what needed to be said.
WeighInRadio.com.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Mike, football season never ends. We did the Super Bowl wrapped up a month ago, and you don't even remember the score.
It was Peyton Manning boring, to Carolina Panthers sloppy.
Well, with that said, the NFL draft is right around the corner, and before you can have the draft, you have to have underclassmen declare. Underclassmen have to declare by a certain date. I don't know. It might be today. They have to declare for the draft to be eligible for the combine and be able to be drafted, and they decide on if they're going to declare for the combine from usually agents. Agents will reach out to them and say, hey, we believe that you will go between this round and this round, and with the NFLPA agreement, you will make X amount of money.
Yeah, and this week making big news is a kid you probably didn't hear a whole lot about this season. Auburn running back Peyton Barber, and I just had his stats. He didn't have a great
1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, so a nice season, but in the year of Leonard Fournette and Derrick Henry, and there was a lot of gaudy numbers of people.
Christian McCaffrey.
That's right. Who is he coming back? I have a feeling
he's only a sophomore. He has to.
Yeah. Well, so is Peyton Barber.
Red shirt.
But I have a feeling that Peyton Barber and Christian McCaffrey's reasons for playing football and their family's economic status are very far apart. Peyton Barber declared for the NFL draft because his mother is homeless. And you're not making any money when you play NCAA football, even though you're getting an education. But you're not making any money. And I think that, stuff like this is why we see a lot of kids get in trouble with NCAA rule violations, especially taking money from boosters. Because let's face it, a lot of these kids, football is their only option, right? It's football or nothing. For themselves, for their families, they come from depressed areas. Their families may be homeless, and yes, Peyton Barber, he could play another year or two, have a Heisman-like season, or go for 1,500 yards and improve his draft status, or he might blow out a knee and never play football again. So I think for people like him, and I'm sure he's not the only one, it's now or never for a lot of these kids coming out of college, possibly prematurely.
Socioeconomic is the most delicate of economics. It's the divide between people and their finances, right? It's the rich from the poor and the middle from the upper, and you're going to hear about a lot of it here at the debate season right now with the candidates and all these things. But I was very fortunate, Mike. I grew up poor. I grew up in a situation where we had to make 50 cents look like $1 a lot, where we had to understand the value and importance of money. And because of that, I feel like I'm a stable adult. But there's the other side of the coin where, since I have been poor, I don't have an issue being poor. I do not strive for more money. I do not work harder to chase it because I know I can get by without it. With that said, it's commendable to me to take the responsibility or burden even of your family and put it on your back and say this, here's a skill set I have and I'm very good at it, and I can earn money that way. Do you in the long run maybe hurt yourself? The answer is yes. You absolutely do in the long run. But like we were saying, it's a need now circumstance. In Maslow's hierarchy, right? Like you have to hit certain tiers before you can get up to peace of mind. And if you don't have shelter, because I don't know, Mike, you don't know, but we don't know what it's like to not have a bed. And that's very true for people. And I understand she's staying, Barbara's mom staying with some family, but to not have possessions of your own it's a terrifying thought.
Yeah. And, also, I think not only is a lot of these college kids coming from poor economical backgrounds, the reason that they get in trouble when they get to college and take money from boosters. I mean, you remember the kids from Ohio State, they sold their national championship rings because they were offered a lot of money and they've never seen that money in their life.
Right.
But this is also how they get into trouble once they hit the NFL, because you hear time after time, Fred, how does a guy who's made millions and millions of dollars during his playing career end up bankrupt 10 years after he played? Well, because what happened is he's the guy who made it out, right? He's the guy who made it out, and he wants to take care of a lot of people. Now, sometimes they run into some unscrupulous people who have them make bad investments in a restaurant or some kind of business that goes nowhere. But sometimes what happens is these guys come from nothing, and they have a generous heart, and they want to take care of everybody, and then people start coming out of the woodwork and taking advantage of it.
There's a documentary, I think it's a 30 for 30, maybe it came out 3-4 years ago, called Broke. And what it was is it shows you the many ways, and there's a plethora of ways that you at 22 years old with hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe $1 million, can easily spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe $1 million. And like you said, it has to do with, this is going to sound a little on the ignorant side, but bear with me. You can take yourself out of the hood, but can you necessarily take the hood out of you? And you kind of get stuck in that mindset where if you're the one who made it, if you're the one who survived your circumstance, did you do it without the support of the others around you? Maybe you didn't. Maybe those people were there for you, and maybe they expect a return. And when you're so young and unguided, do you owe it to them? I can't say. Intrinsically, I think yes. I think you owe it to people who help you, but I could see how you wouldn't. I could see how you would say, no, I have to keep this for myself and my family. But the definition of family is wide and varying, and we could do a whole episode on that.
Right. And I think that I don't necessarily think they owe a lot of people, but there's going to be a lot of people who try to make them feel that they're owed something. Right. I mean, you see it with anything, Fred. I'm not going to speak for low socioeconomical areas or neighborhoods because I grew up middle class, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. But we talked about it, Fred. So every now and then, you'll show up in a newspaper or whatnot, or somebody will get a mention in the news, or they'll get some notoriety, and all of a sudden, the first thing people say is, "Oh, did you mention me?" People automatically start to wonder how your success is going to benefit them. And I think that's a trap a lot of people who suddenly come into money fall into, because especially at that young age. I mean, I think back to when I was 21 or 22, and how naive and manipulative if that's the right word.
Manipulatable, yeah.
I was. So, you add that to all of a sudden you come into millions and millions of dollars, and everyone who's ever talked to you says, hey, man, you owe it to us. I helped you that one time jump your car in the parking lot. So, you wouldn't be where you are without me. How about helping me out or investing in this business? And then all of a sudden, your third cousin who knew your dad starts hitting you up for money, and then
Right.
but
You own a car wash you didn't mean to. I get it. I mean, I can understand how that's a slippery slope. The thing is, I am not so morally righteous that I can tell someone how to spend their time or money. Like if you do not have a problem being broke and you end up broke, I get it, man. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, and see on the and you know what? I'm not really looking down on these guys who go broke. I'm more talking about sort of the predatory nature of people who sort of gravitate towards folks once they start earning some money.
Well, and I do get that. I've run into people specifically locally who would think because I talk about wrestling on AM radio that I have a lot more money than I actually have, and I do not. My truck is 15 years old. 12 years old. I have a 12-year-old truck. I'm not impressing anyone.
Fred Slow's on the radio talking Ultimate Warrior. He must be loaded.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
He's just absolutely loaded.
He has more fans than friends.
Yeah, well, but I say good on this Peyton Barber kid. I mean,
I agree.
It might be premature, but look, you got to do what you got to do. And if this is how he's going to get his mom off the street, then so be it. I also want to applaud real quick Marshawn Lynch, who has he officially retired yet?
Yes, but I think I know why you're about to applaud him.
Yeah, because he has not spent a single dime of his NFL salary.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say earlier in the week he announced he was going to go to Africa, to Egypt specifically, to help introduce the game of football to the continent of Africa.
Huh. I wish him I see that going over about as well as soccer goes over here, but I wish him the best. I hope I'm wrong.
By the way, congratulations to St. Louis Ambush on their season, which just ended on Friday. I had a great time broadcasting that team. A lot of fun out there at the Family Arena. Check them out. They just signed a new 3-year extension with the Family Arena and with Mercy Hospital, the prime sponsor of St. Louis Ambush Soccer. If you have any sort of interest in being a part of the broadcast or coming to see myself or a game, contact me on Twitter at Too Heavy to Skydive.
Oh, wow. You are the wrong guy to make that comparison in front of. It's
You're
the
listening-
way. No, you go. You go. I'm going to take this foot out of my mouth while we go to a commercial break.
You're listening to The Weigh In on 590 The Fan.
Sorry about that. You want me to edit that part out?
No, I don't care. I like it.
Okay. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, soccer's gay. I get it.
Well, it just hasn't taken hold yet.
Do you think if I had a Periscope channel where I just eat chips and then give like a review on chips?
You know what I was thinking of doing when I get a new phone or if I get an iPhone? Just like point Facebook Live at my lawn, and your people are just literally watching grass grow.
I'd tune in.
I think that'd be like good for the subversive market.
Yeah, I did it. I was at my office one day. I was watching a hawk had killed like a starling, just like some like pussy regular bird.
Yeah.
And it had pinned it to the ground until it became lifeless. And then it was slowly but methodically just devouring it with its through evolution, they get this beak, the beak.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, I watched it for like an hour, and if I would have like done like a Facebook Live thing or something, I feel like the internet would have stopped.
I think so. I think so because going back, people. You said you've never seen a car wreck that you've turned away from.
Oh, hard no. I love car wrecks.
Me too. As long as I'm not in them, and as long as no one gets hurt. Like I want to see the most brutal car wreck possible without anyone getting hurt.
NASCAR, anybody?
Yeah. Well, but I mean, you go long stretches of time without car wrecks in that.
I've never watched NASCAR.
Me either. Me either. All right. Well, why don't you take the lead here, Fred? Because I know you want to talk about some stuff that you're into.
How much time we got?
8 minutes.
All right, I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go.
Now, back to the weigh-in.
These guys are like bad stand-up comics that you can't heckle.
WeighInRadio.com.
Mike, if you are fully aware, and I know the listener is now, I have since the new year taken a vow of sobriety. I have been sober for 3 months. 3 months.
Wow. So now let me ask you, Fred. Have you what kind of differences have you noticed?
2 months. 2 months.
Yeah. Well,
Man, it seems
obviously,
longer.
obviously, it hasn't helped improve your memory.
No. So I'm sorry. How many? What?
I mean, in what ways have you felt your life improve, or any differences that you've noticed since putting the bottle down?
Exact opposite, Mike. I am now cursed with so much free time on my hands that I don't know what to do. It was a regular. And my problem wasn't excess. I didn't drink to excess. Okay, my problem was frequency. I did it like every single night, and I'm not talking at home. I mean, I would go somewhere. I would find people that we had liked interests, and then we would drink beer, and that was regular for me. That was like a good night. But now because I don't do that, I sit at home and watch primitive technology videos on YouTube for hours on end, where people fashion axes out of rocks and wood to build mud huts to create charcoal so they can smelt iron. And this is a real thing that I do. I did it last night for 4 hours. It was a Saturday night.
You know, Fred, that's funny because the other day I spent about a half hour watching this guy's YouTube channel on how to cook like it's the colonial times.
Yeah, why? What? We're living in the future right now, and all I want to do is learn how to make a weaved basket.
Did you actually try to make a basket?
Absolutely not. I bought a hammock.
Yeah, and I wonder how many people watch these instructional YouTube videos and actually put it into practice. Because another thing, Fred, that I watched for about 45 minutes on end was there was this guy who had a YouTube channel and didn't have a whole lot of hits, where he would just show you how to reheat select Chinese food leftovers. And I mean, there was it was like a single shot. The guy had the charisma of a rock, and I could not stop watching it.
No, because those are the perfect videos. I don't want to go to your video and watch a 30-second intro on what it is and why it's happening. And here's a for instance. I don't want to go to your video, and your video is here's how widget works. And you're like, hey, my name's so-and-so, and I've been into widgets for a long time. Widgets are a real passion of mine. I know they're a passion of yours. By the way, here's a certain widget that you might have interest in buying, and if you do, you can get it from Widget Store. No,
right.
Stop it.
And then Nicole Arbor cuts in with a whole bunch of, oh my God. You know, it's like, it gives me a seizure is what it does, Fred.
It's too much. So a good YouTube video doesn't even have an intro. It just jumps right to whatever it is. So these primitive technology videos that I've been watching, the guy, here's the descriptor of the video: how to make an axe out of a rock and a stick. And then it just starts doing it. And there are no words, and there's no sound. There's only the sound of nature. And you're like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do with. Yeah, he is using that twine around the rock on that stick to make an axe. And water, what would water? So you're like problem solving it with him. I was into it. It's
interactive. It's the new theater of the mind. And I tell you what, Fred, when Facebook puts out that dislike button and society ultimately crumbles, you're going to be glad that you know how to make that axe out of a stick and a rock.
Did I tell you about this hammock I bought?
I saw that. Yeah, which I was surprised that there's a hammock out there that can accommodate your girth.
No, I got the 2 people one.
Oh, good thinking.
Yeah, I was looking ahead on that one. Yeah, it was like so last week I'm doing public address for this diving competition. I got the weirdest life of anyone you've ever met. So anyways, I leave
Fred
the diving.
Put the bottle down and got heavily into doing swimming and diving play-by-play.
So, by the way, diving competitions a little more intense than I thought they were. From the tuck position, 2.5 somersault with a twist, free. Did you agree of difficulty? But and everyone there knew what I was saying, and I had no idea what I was saying. Yeah. So, not the point. So I leave the facility, which is really nice. It's a really nice spot. but there's, I don't know, it's like humid, man. It's like indoors. There's like a lot of humidity. I'm like, oh, today's hot. It's miserable. It sucks. So I went to go get a pedicure. So I go get the pedicure. This is a natural transition for my day. So I go to get the pedicure because my dogs are barking. You know how that is, Mike.
Sure. Like someone's at the door.
So as I leave the pedicure, I walk outside again. So this is the second time I walked outside like that morning. And third, I guess, if you can, not important. So I walk outside. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful day God has ever created, and I am blessed with it. And I went right to the Home Depot and I bought a hammock.
Wow. Pretty soon, Fred, you're going to start posting like inspirational quotes with pictures of sunrises, like "Get busy living" or "Get busy dying."
I rather lay in a hammock than. Well, I don't really have any yet, but I'm going to come up with them, and they're going to be very good. So
Fred,
here's some suggestions: get a hammock.
Okay. Not a banana hammock.
No. Get a traditional and not a bogus one with like a cloth. No, I'm talking like a rope one.
Right,
get a rope hammock, put it up between two trees somewhere, live.
Right. Take a nap and wake up with really weird rope burns.
And also fulfillment. You'll feel fulfilled.
Yeah. Well, when I feel most fulfilled, Fred, when I feel like most like a man is when I look up how to fix something on YouTube and I fix it.
Yeah, I agree. How do you think my furnace got fixed?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did that with the lawnmower because I'm like, okay, well, what I start doing is I start thinking, okay, if I totally mess this up and have to buy a new one, how much of a gamble is that? I said, okay, I could probably find an off-season lawnmower for $200.
Right.
I'm gambling on how to fix this lawnmower. But if I fix it, that feeling of accomplishment is going to be at least worth $220. And then that's how I figure out if I'm going to try to learn how to fix something off of YouTube.
That's time invested. I like that. I've also found, and this is just through life, the thing that gives out first is designed to give out, right? So there's usually a cheap whatever you can do to fix your thing. You just fix that thing. Just do the cheapest thing.
Right. And you know what I normally do? I say, okay, if I can't figure out how to fix this, I'll just retrace my footsteps and put it back together and then take it to a professional.
Hey, when I'm problem solving something, my entire cell phone fills up with photos because I take a picture of every step that I do because I'm that angle. Hey, also real quick, I know we got to go. We're up against it. I want to just send a shout out to RotoWire. I got your fantasy baseball app. Spent like 5 hours working in it the other day, just trying to get my team perfect. I got a lot of plans. Fantasy baseball right around the corner, Mike.
So, Fred, if come November and your fantasy baseball teams are number one, will you say that putting down the bottle has been worth it?
I spent $10 on an app. I've never done that.
Wow. You need to start drinking again.
Hey, good job, everyone. Thanks for listening to the weigh-in. I'm later.
Bye. Good. I like that. I like that ending.
That's a good episode, man. We were straight here. Let's submit that to everyone. That's the one that's going to get us an Emmy.
Okay, that's good. I felt like I was having a little trouble setting up the Peyton Barber thing, but we came out of it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I felt like I did, not you. How are those chips?
They're baked.
Oh.
Sour cream's my go-to chip. Obviously, sour cream, barbecue, black pepper. Ooh, this is going to be my top 5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Others, there's going to have to be a punchline chip in there. So I'm going to say like off your shoulder.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, so that'll be because I swerve them usually.
Yeah, right, exactly. There's always a play on words. You know what you should do?
What's that?
I don't know. I was gonna say maybe what you should do is you should put your punchline like at number 3, but then I maybe the rest of the list might be a disappointment if you do that.
So you're saying I should just all right, number 5, sour cream, number 4, barbecue, number 3, Kelly.
Chip Kelly. That's pretty good.
I don't know if it worked. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, when you said Kelly, my mind went to Kapowski. I don't know why.
Well, that's weird because the category was favorite chips.
I forgot what the category was for a second. See, Fred, this is why people stick around for after the after show discussion.
I gotta stop recording this.
Oh, that's all right. I'm still broadcasting it us on Google Hangout. If you're still watching now, it's your fault.
We got there's some fans in the Periscope. What's up, dudes?
Yeah. Well, you know what? How many people watch? Let's take questions from Periscope.
All right, well, we're opening up to a little bonus action here. We got
the two least interesting guys on Periscope. Ask us anything.
Hey, there's no way we're the least interesting guys we know. At my day job right now, we're taking applications for summer employment.
Yeah.
Run into some boring people.
Yeah.
It says hobbies and interests right here. Fill something out.
Let me ask you something, Fred. Okay. What kind of positions are you hiring for?
Ones that can be trained in 5 minutes.
So, okay, if it's a, I don't want to say low skill job, but if it's a job that's easy to grasp and you don't need a whole lot of expertise, you probably hire more for someone you think you'd like to work with than, who's got the best skill set for the job.
My personal philosophy is with work to enjoy you have to love your work and you have to love the people you work with. If you don't, and those things, they have to be equal. You can't have one better, you can't have one less. If you have those two things right, the rest of your life is easy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like my job right now. I've had jobs that I've absolutely hated, and it just seeps into the rest of your life because inevitably you're going to have to go back there. There's a lot of places you're not sure if you're ever going to go back, like like that waterfall in Fiji,
right,
or to that strip club off the highway
in Fiji. Oh yeah,
in Fiji, which that sounds like a good place to get arrested. But every day you're going to have to go back to your job. So like when I've had jobs I've hated, and you try to stop thinking about it off the clock, you can't, because you know that you're not more than 8 hours away from being back there again or whatever. In order to like your job, you got to like the people you work with. Because I've had some crap jobs where I've liked people I've worked with, and I've had some cake jobs where I make a lot of money. I didn't like the people I worked with, and it really is about the people you work with.
Hey, so on the Facebook, my buddy Kevin Fowler, who does media relations and ticket sales and stuff for the Ambush, he says soccer's gay. I get it.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin.
No, it's good. There's a lot of young kids that work for the Ambush. They work with a lot of interns, and they give a lot of kids opportunities in the business world they wouldn't normally get. With that said, I played in the staff soccer game the other day with them. It was super late for me. It was 10 p.m. Yeah. These kids were they've been drinking Red Bull for 8 hours.
Sure.
Anyways, we go to do the thing, and they're all just cool kids, man. They're going to end up being something, which is, I don't know, fun that you can be a part of that for a minute. Yeah.
Fred, you don't have to defend soccer to me. Like I said, I was going to try to take a shot at soccer. I'm just saying that, it just hasn't blown up like football has here. That's all I'm saying. So
yeah, and also it's gay.
Yeah. So I apologize. I guess I'll resend my demo tape to be the PA announcer for the Ambush.
Wait, no, what? We have a very good PA announcer. Here's the point of what I'm trying to say, Mike. I wouldn't do this radio show if I didn't like you.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. I wouldn't do this radio show if I wasn't getting paid.
Hey, have you seen all the stuff I send to Kristen on Facebook?
I saw the one where you say every day without you is the best day of my life or something.
I haven't done it yet today. Every day I send her something that's like, God, you just suck. Just every day.
Yeah, how's she doing?
She's good, man. I just talked to her the other day. It was her birthday, and she oh yeah, it looks like she blocked me. Hold on.
Should we stop broadcasting now that I'm going to start asking you about your friends or what?
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, good job, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.